Hi, Soul Fam. Hope everyone is okay. No, it's been a few days since I did my last video, so just checking in and making sure everyone's okay. I've been busy, basically. I had work stuff to do and personal issues to deal with. So that's kind of what I've been doing, that and recharging the batteries, because there's some cray stuff going on. Sometimes I've been feeling fiery the last week or so, and sometimes it's just better not to say anything than it is. You know what I mean? So, where to start? I've got a poem, and it's called, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce this, Desiderata by Max Ehrman. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all our aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as grass. Take kindly to the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labours and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. Those are my thoughts so far today. I tell you, I am feeling fiery. I've got to be honest. I've been feeling fiery for about a week or so, for a number of reasons. But the current situ that it's just come about. I'll tell you about this story. So my direct neighbour, when we moved into this house, it's an old vicarage. It's 175 years old. It's haunted, 100%. Everyone said so before I moved in. I thought it was cool. And Anyway, the bit that's attached to it, it was a much bigger property, but they split it up into 3. So we live in the biggest bit. Then there's like a middle corner bit, because it's an L shape. So the bit in the corner was like completely derelict, abandoned. It had been for years and years. And then the bit at the end on the other, sort of on the other corner of the L, if you like, or square, whatever, you know what I'm saying, had people in it. So as soon as we moved in here, somebody bought this bit in the middle. It was, as I say, it literally was a shell, if that. They bought it and they gutted it. It was a nightmare. They spent months just obviously gutting the whole thing and redoing it. And the garden was overrun. It was like a wild thing, you know what I mean? Like trees up high, and weeds everywhere. You couldn't see nothing. It was just wild. And so they must have spent a fortune at doing the house and then also gutting the garden completely. So obviously you're thinking, oh, there's going to be neighbours. And anyway, nobody actually moved in. But there's been, and I'll tell you why this is, I just, because I have been in, unfortunately, this criminal underbelly because of my ex, I just notice things. I just notice things like that because I know from what they used to do. So anyway, people coming in and out of this house, right, at weird times of night. Nobody lives there permanently, but people come in and out at weird times. And they, the windows are all boarded up. So obviously this is after the gutting has gone on. It's all, they all had new windows, new PVC windows, all this stuff put in, right? And I don't know whether the people that bought it rented it out. There was no sort of sign up or anything. It just went from being abandoned to like 4 months worth of gutting and redoing. And then the windows got boarded up on the inside, right? Telltale sign. Then the garden has been left to overgrow after they've obviously just spent a fortune having this thing dug up, right? Cars come in and out at certain times on certain days over the last 16 weeks. Let's put it that way. And they put up a security camera, but it's not in their garden. It's the security garden is facing it's facing at my house and into my garden. It's not even vaguely pointing at anything to do with their garden, right? And why would you have CCTV on a house that people don't live in? So, and then we got some posts delivered here for next door. And it was like bills, unpaid bills. And I live in a village in the middle of, literally in the middle of nowhere, which it would be ideal for something like cannabis growing, for example. And but it's not connected to the gas mains, the whole village. So we have to use oil, right? And so you have to get your oil obviously topped up. We have ours done every month, but so does next door. And if there's nobody living in it, they wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't need to be topped up, would it? But it's been topped up every month. Anyway, so, and then the carers mentioned something to my mum saying they smelled cannabis, right? Because I'd already mentioned it to her. I was like, 100%. I was like, this is just, I've seen this set up before because my ex grew weed. So I was like, that's just exactly what happens. Just Nailed it. Anyway, so they mentioned it. Anyway, my mum was like, well, if they've got a camera in our garden, that's illegal. And it is, because obviously if you can have a CCTV on your house, as long as it's like either pointing on the road or into your vicinity kind of thing, and you're on your property. But their garden is literally not facing nothing of theirs. It's completely into ours. So anyway, as we were having this conversation, so the fuel's just been topped up, and then all of a sudden this car pulls up and has been there for he hasn't gone out of the house, but he's been there for the last 2 days, banging around. So I thought, I'll go and knock. So I went to go and knock, because I thought, I'll just tell him. I'll say, move the fucking camera. It's been like that for months. It's illegal. It is actually illegal. It's against whatever I cited the law that it's breaching, to have it onto my property. They could have it outside the front of their house, but they haven't. They've got it in their garden, but pointing at my house. Anyway, so I knocked on the door. I told you I was feeling feisty. So anyway, he didn't answer, but I could hear him in there. So I thought, all right. Anyway, so I come back. I wrote a note saying exactly that. I was saying, please move your camera from my property, otherwise I'll be forced to report you for invasion of privacy. And I stated the law. I said, I'll report you to the police because it's been like that for months, and this is the first opportunity I've had to speak to anybody about it, because as far as it looks to anyone else, there's no one living here. So I wrote this note. I went back and knocked again, and he didn't answer. So I put this note through, obviously basically saying, if you don't move your camera, I'll call the police on you. And I would have thought that the tone of the letter would have made someone, if you'd got that through your door, it would have made you at least come. I half did it mainly to see if he would come. Because if you got a note like that through your door, you would get up and come out and go speak to your neighbour, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, sorry, or whatever. Not a fucking dickie. I bet I'll put money on it that he's there cutting it down. Because there's an intense smell of cannabis. Anyway, so that's one of the things that's been going on. Another thing that's quite funny is I was telling you about my mum. Yeah, so she's obviously old school beliefs, just old school generally. And but the best thing is we've had many a little tiff over this time on debating various topics. Like she gets upset with me when I start slating the royal family, which I obviously do often, because she's just so she's of that generation, and that's really not meant to be insulting to anyone of that generation, but it's just that's how they didn't have access to the information. It's a completely different time. So anyway, and this whole and obviously COVID. So I've obviously been telling her since the get-goes certain things and showing her the information. She'd get all uppity about it, like, no, they wouldn't do that. And then obviously as the days go by and more shit comes out, she's kind of like, you can see her like, okay, you might have been right about that. She'd never have been it. Anyway, just recently, she went, oh, you're not going to believe this. I went, what? She was like, I'm just reading this article, and they're saying that the coronavirus has got spikes on it. And that is completely, it's completely abnormal for the coronaviruses to have that spike, which means that it's been man-made. I went, Mum, I've been saying that to you for about 16 fucking months. She was like, what? But no, let me finish. I said, no. I said, no, wait, I said, go on then. But I did say, listen, you know, I've been telling you that since the get-go. But you got to let her find her out on her own. So she was like telling it back to me like she just found out this information. Oh, God love her. Yeah. So yeah, it's just been giggles, and I've been watching. I've got my rope dart today. So this is one of these. Have you seen these? It's a performance thing. It says this is my practice one. Before my fire one comes. So it's got like a little weighted ball on the end, and then a long bit of rope like this. And you basically, obviously I can't really do it in here, but you know, you flow. It's too heavy as well. I don't know what possessed me to buy this. It might look light, but it is not. That is heavy. So yeah, you kind of do flow like that, and swing it around your head, and so this is my practice one. So I've been learning how to do this today, and I've got my fire one coming. I'm so excited. And then the tutorial, because I'm just like, well, I'm just going to learn everything now. You know, I just want to just learn. I'm like a sponge right about now. And the woman, the tutorial that I watched, she was a stunt. I watched her several, but this woman was a stunt performer. Obviously in movies and stuff. She did this. It's actually a martial art. The rope dart it comes normally with rather than a ball, like a dart, i.e. like a blade, if it was the martial arts version. So you do the same movement, but obviously it's lethal. Mind you, me doing this is probably equally as lethal, to be honest. Anyway, so she was doing all these tricks. She was doing it's called an aerial cartwheel. I was like, oh, it's a bit more like acrobatics. I thought, I'm going to give that a go, which is basically a cartwheel without any hands. So I thought, well, she do you know what I mean? She can do it. I can. So that's my next on the list of things to do. Just why not? I've been although I've been off I haven't been on YouTube. I have been posting like an absolute beast on Instagram and Facebook, just because as and when the things came up. But I've also been keeping myself off this as well, because I am being watched like a fucking hawk by my narcissistic exes, trying to get the deets on what I'm doing. The levels, I'm telling you, the levels that these are going to is quite outstanding. I mean, I knew they would, obviously, because you know, when you're exposing criminals for criminal activity, it's not gonna be an easy road, but it's the right one. And yeah, even to the lengths of, you know, on you can set up extra security on your logins, which everyone should do. Just anyway, because there's so much scamming going on at the moment. And I'm going to, I think, remind me of that. Yeah, so I've set up these extra steps. And I knew, because of who he is, because of who they are, because of what I know that they've done to other people, I knew that I would have to do this. So obviously I set it up ages ago. Anyway, he has been trying to log in, hack into my emails, because it sends me a notification on my phone when someone's trying to log into my emails from a different device. You know, so if I went to try and log into my emails, say on a computer in a library, it would do the same thing. And it would send a notification to my phone for me to confirm yes or no whether it's me. And what it also tells you is the name of the device, the IP, and the location, right? So I know it's him because he's doing it from a laptop that he stole from me. So it tells me the name of the laptop, like the make and model. And then it tells me the IP in London. It's like, oh, hello. Like, does he not think, like, no, you can't sign into my fucking emails, you bleep. So yeah. And it happens periodically, like at least once a month. But it was just literally the other day. I was like, do you know what I mean? Give up. Give up. It's too late. It's already done. You know what I mean? They can't stand it. Isn't it funny? Like, you know, I was so what's the right word? I was in a pity party for many a year there, but I was really good at masking it, or at least I thought I was. Like I would always be the party person, you know. So inside I was dying, but I'd put a really brave face on it, and just pretend to be happy, to make other people happy. And I managed to hold that together for a long time. But now I'm actually happy because I've dealt with all of that shit and I'm not with them. I'm not involved in that fuckery anymore. And they just cannot stand it. They cannot stand it that they can't control me and what I'm saying. Because obviously, even though people closest to them know what they were up to, let's put it that way, no one would ever dare say anything. And they certainly wouldn't make it anything public knowledge. Very much a family where everything was kept within, you know. So all of the no one would say nothing about nothing, let's put it that way. And if you dare spoke out about anything, then you were just singled out. Yeah. It's like I was like loyal to them for so long, and they were all lying. They were lying to each other. They were lying for him, and not only lying for him, but then making me feel bad, even though they knew that he was lying. It's like, how fucked up is that? Just the whole thing of it. There's so much shit going down, like between all of them, and everyone's lying to everyone, and everyone's not saying it. It all gets swept under the carpet, and women are being abused, and nobody says anything about that. And there's that, if all the women stick together and then just let the boys do whatever they want to do kind of attitude, including, whatever, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, enough of that. But it's I do genuinely feel like everything has happened for a reason, though. Even as shit as it may have been. Had it not been that shit to push me to the point where I really evaluate myself and just everything. Would I have done it? Would I have done it? Would I have changed? Because, it's in moments of pain and struggle is where we grow the most. And I just was thinking about this, what my tattoo says here. And in fact, it just remind me every day of it, really, obviously, because it's tattooed on there. I had it done for a reason. God, give me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's really important right now, because there's no point in us, if we want to get through this, there's no point with that, that we can't wallow in what was, or what we can't, things we can't do. We've got to solely focus on everything that we can do to get out of this and change the things that we can change, because the world is basically, it's just I saw this quote, what was it? The world is a something mirrors. There's something about mirrors, like the whole world is just a big, reflective mirrors. And we have to be the change that we want to see in the world, in others. It starts here. It starts with us being able to pick up the accountability mirror and look in it and look at ourselves and change the things that we want to change about ourselves, that we want to see in other people, that we expect to see in other people. You can't expect someone to, so if we want kindness for others, then we have to be kind. If we want people to be honest, we have to be honest. If we want people not to be judgmental, we can't be judgmental. If we want, the list goes on. If we want loyalty, be loyal. If you want love, be love. If you want to, all of those things, whatever you're wanting, you have to be it yourself to get it. Because everything is a reflection. Everything is a mirroring. Everything is, you can't sit in a place of anger or hate or fear or judgment and all of those things and expect everyone else to be different to you. So really it's starting with the inner work that it is the outer work. If you know, those, it's working on those things, because all of those emotions there, all of those things like stress and anxiety and fear and hate, they actually, I've said it before, but they make scientifically proven that they make you ill. So when you're in that state for a long period of time, all of those emotions have a physiological response in terms of chemicals and hormones that are released in your body. And if those are being released in your body because you're in that state all the time, then those chemicals and hormones are going to be being released all the time, and that's going to have a detrimental effect on your actual biology and how your body works and how it functions. And that's going to have an effect on, you know, your organs working properly, and inflammation is where mutations and cancers occur and disease will occur, because inflammation weakens your immune system, which means you're more likely to get diseases. So in fact, right now, being stressed, anxious, fearful, hateful, angry is the worst thing you can do. Literally the worst thing you can do for yourself right now, because it will make you more likely to get COVID, just on that level alone. So, and that's just without all of this other, you know, vaccine and all that, whatever, you know, I don't really, I hate talking about vaccines, to be honest, because it's just annoying me now. Because no one should be able to they shouldn't be making these things fucking mandatory. No one should. It's a choice. And if our bodies are made to be machines that, if treated right and if respected properly, they will fight off anything. And that is the truth. If you're looking after yourself, if you're looking after your body, if you're consuming the right things, if you're healthy, if you're doing exercise, if you're keeping your brain active and learning something new, and in fact, if you're happy, all of those things will boost your immune system. If you're doing all of those things, it will boost your natural immune system, and you'll be okay. So it just feels like it's a human experiment at this point. I'm going to be honest with you, because there's so much news that is not in mainstream news that they're censoring around this, and it is criminal. And if you've got people from all over the world saying the same thing, which is not what they're saying on mainstream media, it's slightly concerning. And there's so many side effects, including death. It's not just the odd blood clot or the odd this and that. There's millions of side effects millions of people that have had side effects, serious side effects. That's just in the UK. And thousands of deaths from the vaccine. And they didn't take long to create it, and they didn't do it on that many people, the clinical trials, and they don't know what the long-term effects are. And we've been here before. We've been here before with many other drugs that they've created throughout history, that after a few years they've gone, oh no, actually that kills people, and it's been retracted, or like Do you really want to be part of that? Do you really want to be part of that statistic? I don't. No way. No thanks. There's no amount of shit that they can throw or fear mongering that they can do that would make me have it, and you can't force me to have it. No. So yeah, I just really want people to be happy. And I've seen some things today. Where was it? Hold on. Oh my goodness. Ah, yeah. So this is totally just going off piste. I was watching some channel. I'll find it and put it in the description. So farmers, there's obviously farmers are having a bit of a tough time over here, but also in other places, in other countries, and there's all these supply chain issues and people saying there's going to be a food shortage and all of this nonsense. Right, listen. China. Nothing to do with Xi Jinping. Nothing to do with him. This is farmers in China. Listen. Farmers in China, this is from Bloomberg TV. Actually, that was where it was, Bloomberg. Is it? Yeah, it was. Right, earlier today. Farmers have been selling their produce direct to customers. So you're cutting out all of the middlemen, you're cutting out the big supermarkets that have been making money off everyone during this time. And they also they do a race to the bottom on prices, don't they? And they don't give much of the profit to the actual farmer, right? Cut those fuckers out straight. Do this. Farmers have been selling via, guess where? Live streams on YouTube. And daily, so they've obviously got their YouTube channels. They do daily videos from their farms, like showing off their produce, and they do live streams as well, tasting and talking about their produce, and have live links to be able to sell direct to customers, cutting out the middleman, and you obviously make more profit. This has worked. It's increased their sales sixfold doing this, and during the pandemic as well. And they've increased the various farmers. I'm going to put some examples in, and they've increased their followers as well, obviously by millions, as well as their turnover sixfold. Though that would solve the problem, wouldn't it? If all the farmers, particularly in the UK, that are struggling at the minute. I wonder if you could do the same thing with fishing. I wonder if you could do the same thing with fishing. The fishermen. Yeah, fishery. That would work for them as well, wouldn't it? I'll put those links in. Oh, right. Next one. I've for some reason I've just been coming across a lot of stuff about material science now. I've, my material science knowledge is slim to none. It was until I got sucked into watching. I got sucked into watching these videos about material science. Now, again, because everything is a sign or a symbol, it is, whether you believe that or not. When you start to believe it, then you'll start to see more signs and symbols. That's the way it works. So, over the last few days, loads of things just randomly I've started seeing about material science or elements and atoms, periodic table kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, there's something here. I don't know what it is just yet, but there's something here that this is suddenly a lot of it. Anyway, this specific, there's two that stood out to me. And this is interesting. Well, I thought it was quite interesting. I'm going to tell you about it. You can tell me if it's interesting or not. Well, there's graphene, right? Have you heard of graphene? I hadn't. I had not heard of it. So graphene, if you like the definition, is an allotrope of carbon consisting of a single layer of atoms arranged in two-dimensional honeycomb lattice. Then, I can't even say that word. The name is a portmanteau of graphite, and this. Oh yes, just gets a bit techie there. But basically, it is what is fascinating about this. So it's made from the same atom, like a pencil is carbon and a diamond is carbon, right? And then graphite, which is the sort of rock. Don't know if that's the right technical term. I told you my knowledge is slim. I'm still learning. Oh look, can you see that? Yeah, it's like that. No, that's not working, is it? Well, anyway, so this was a relatively, when was it discovered? It's stronger than a diamond, is the point. So it's wafer thin. So it says one atom layer thick, single layer. It looks like a honeycomb, right? And I'm just trying to see here. It's all getting a bit techie. I'll put the link into the program that I watched, which was a bit better. But it is the reason why it's important. They use it in material, so you can, like Kevlar. So for like body protection. And I was thinking, why is this coming? It was supposed to be the newest, greatest thing when it was discovered. Like they were saying, oh, this material is going to change, change everything because it can be used in so many different things. So when I looked it up, I was like, why is this important? Because it must be if it's coming up over and over again. And here's the thing. Obviously, there's a semiconductor shortage. Just going back to, global issues. So there's a semiconductor shortage, which is affecting loads of industries. And the traditional semiconductor is not made from graphene. But graphene can be used as a replacement. Graphene can be used, and it's actually more effective because it's also a conductor of electricity. So not only can it be used as a semiconductor in electronics and chips, in all of the industries that are currently experiencing shortages, it's also really easy to make, apparently. I'm going to put the link into the science of this because they'll explain it a whole lot better than me. But apparently it's really easy to make. It's really easy to form into these various different products. So that could be an answer. That could be because if it's easy to and quick to make, cheap, and is more flexible, stronger, it can be used in electronics, it can be used in chips, and it can be used in solar panels instead of silicon. That's what and obviously that's all in China, isn't it? So anywhere can, who's got graphite? Who's got graphite? Graphite, yeah, that's it, graphite. So anywhere that's got graphite as a mineral, your quid's in. Get your graphene manufacturing game on, because it's, you know, they, as when it was first invented, but nobody really has gone anywhere with it. That's the other thing this program was saying. So when it was first invented, it has been used in certain things, but not as big as it should be for the material that it is and all the uses that it can be applied to. So that was that. There was another one as well, just randomly, to do with crystals. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, I can't say that either. I can't even read my own handwriting. Look, I've gone to a tiny pad. I don't feel right. Where's my big pad gone? Perovskite crystals. So you can, these are crystals that can be printed on surfaces, and again, it's cheaper, quicker to use these. They can be used for electricity and solar as well. So they're in the process of being tested at the moment. That's another good one for any other countries, because all of these things, if everyone's using all the best technology, to beat climate change and create new jobs, new industry, new demand. Let's go. Then, this isn't great news, got to be honest, but I'm going to share it. I watched this program, so there's a great channel. What it was called? What We On? World is One. There's an amazing lady that does the reporting on there. And this is quite concerning, because this is a Chinese company called BGI Group, who make a prenatal test that is sold in 52 countries. And what's happened here is they have been collected. This is going to sound out there, but it is a fact. It's just deeply concerning. So there's a prenatal test that you do, you know, for the Down syndrome tests, and you have the test that's, is it 16 weeks, where they test for all the conditions. You know what I mean. I should know. I've had 3 kids. Just thinking, it is I think it's 12 or 16 weeks, whenever it is, that test there, where they do the bloods and everything, and they check to see the likelihood of any complications. So, but what's been happening is, with this test from China, from BGI Group, they have been keeping gene, this, oh, how do you say it? The genomic sequencing that's coming from those blood tests, all of that data, rather than just remaining at the hospital or wherever those tests are being done, that data is being sent back to the BGI group in China. And BGI group in China are sharing that genomic sequencing of all of these mothers and babies back to the Chinese government. This is proven, by the way. This isn't just like, no, this is proven. And the Chinese government are using that information and the genomic sequencing to try and make genetically, just go with me, I'm going to put the link into it, please watch it, genetically modified soldiers. And they're doing so they're collating this data illegally, because obviously, well, people are signing these, because nobody, let's face it, and not a lot of people really read the fine print on anything unless they're, I mean, obviously I do now, but I never used to. You know, when you just get those things pop up, you're like, do you agree? And you scroll down, scroll, yes. It's like that. You just sign your life away. You haven't even read it. Like, I used to do that all the time. Now I'm not. I'm like reading every word, like, right. So what happens with these prenatal things is you have to sign like a waiver. And in fact, I had a woman interviewed on it from Poland, because, as I say, 52 different countries. This isn't just like in China. This is all over the world. And this lady in Poland said she did actually read it, but it didn't specifically say that how the data was going to be used. So she obviously signed it. And what they've managed to discover is that actually no, that all of the data, the results that come back from these tests, those results, the genomic sequencing of mother and baby, gets sent back centrally to this BGI group, which is a Chinese company, and who make the test, and they have what they call the Chinese Communist Party. There's links between the two, and so the data gets shared with the government, and the government use that data to obviously do genomic change, because this is all going on at the moment. It's been going on for years, but nobody's really kind of paid any attention to it, because everyone's just too busy trying to survive in the rat race. So all of this kind of crazy shit, like gain of function research with viruses and this, human cloning and genomic sequencing of everyone everywhere has been just going on all this time. And nobody's, only really the people, directly involved in it, because it's not really kind of been widespread news, And even if it was, would people have read it before now? And that's the problem. We've just been too busy. But busy doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, just busy trying to escape it. It's to escape life rather than live it. And in doing so, so much has just passed us by, like, without us even knowing, or being bothered enough to care, which is even worse. So that is concerning, because obviously they're trying to make them, specifically they referenced changes to make them so that soldiers are more capable of withstanding was it different, like it being in planes and different, air pressures and things like that, to do with ears and all of this kind of thing. Because obviously when you're doing genomic sequencing from babies and mums, and you can just pick out the best of the best, essentially, can't you, and replicate it. That's the level, that's where we're at. That's where we are at in terms of biology. And I even did a video about this the other day. The genomic, that company is called CRISPR, and where they can switch genes on and off. They can literally switch genes on and off. They can change anything about anyone. And it sounds miraculous. And it, it could be if it's in the hands of the right person. But what if it isn't? They've got access to manipulate people's genes to whatever they want. It just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, as far as I'm concerned. To have that much power, no one should have that much power over the human race. Doesn't sound right to me. So, yeah, I'll put the links into those. There was also this other really cool thing that I found out. Did you know that there is an observatory in a plane that flies around? Serious. And it flies around at, like just below, I don't know what I can't remember the name of the different stratospheres, layers of the atmosphere. But it flies in one of the top ones there. And it collects, because down here everything's so not collecting certain types of data about atmosphere and frequency and energy is harder, because it's so noisy, essentially, because of us and all of the technology that we have down here and devices constantly emitting shit. So when you go up to this level and you're in this plane, it's literally it's huge. It shows you in the video. It's a huge thing. It's an observatory in a plane. The flight is cool. It's going up again in July. And so it monitors celestial molecules. That sounds fucking cool, doesn't it? I was like, wow, that must be a really cool job. Just like bopping around in a special plane. Anyway, that's just me being weird. I have so much other stuff. I've already gone on for like an hour. Gosh, I do rant, don't I? Anyway, I love you guys. And I will actually be back tomorrow. I will, because I feel fully charged and raring to go. So I'll have more nonsense and more random facts. I love learning random facts. Like I don't know what happened. I think I was just like on standby. I feel like my when you switch your TV to like standby, I feel like I've been on standby for 39 years and someone just switched me on last year. That's what it feels like. It feels like something happened, and my brain switched on, and now I can't switch the fucker off. So yeah, you're stuck with me, I'm afraid. Anyway, love you all very, very much. I hope you all have a good day today, or evening, or afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Remember, you're never alone. You're always loved. The universe has your back. We all have each other. We can do this. We will do this. There's no going back. Love you.